Leafs are now winners of 4 of 5, and they are feeling pretty damn good lately as they hang on to beat the Buffalo Sabres at Scotiabank Arena 5-3, well 4-3, and an empty netter by Ilya Mikheyev, and the Leafs win it 5-3. And as we talked about in the last video, this was a big game for the Leafs. Obviously, with Buffalo being 3 points ahead of the Leafs with the same amount of games played coming into tonight's hockey game, you wanted to win in regulation, and you got it. The Leafs are now 1 point behind the Buffalo Sabres for second place in the Atlantic Division. They're now 17-14-4, and they're feeling great. Like I said, 4 of 5, they've won 4 of 5 games, and the games that they've won have not been against bad teams. St. Louis, Edmonton, Vancouver, and now Buffalo. All those teams above 500, hovering around playoff spots, and your one loss was to Calgary, and you kind of blew that third period lead that you had. Now, we'll get to that in a bit, though. I do want to talk about third period leads in a second here. But let's get to this hockey game, and let's get to it early on. 2:30 in. Dmitry Timashov coming down, really just looking to get a shot on net here. It gets blocked, and I don't know who it was, but he kind of bats it towards the middle of the ice, right to I think it was the skate of Frederic Gauthier. Gauthier goes skate to stick because he's got all the momentum going right at the net, and he buries it past Linus Ullmark. Frederic Gauthier, scratched for 4 straight games. They put him in the last game. He scores. They put him in again tonight. He scores again. His 4th goal of the year for Gauthier, and the Leafs are in front 1-0, not even 3 minutes into the hockey game. As we've said many times, how do you start the game? How's that first period? Well, the Leafs won the first period 1-0. Who scored the first goal? The Leafs did. Great start to the game. And shots on goal in the first, 11-5 in favor of the Leafs. The Leafs were all over Buffalo in that first period. The only reason it wasn't more than 1-0 was Linus Ullmark. He made some really good saves. One, I don't know if it was in the first period or second period, the one off of Tyson Barrie. 2-0, Mikheyev to Barrie, and a great sprawling save by Linus Ullmark. But in the end, the Leafs just keep piling it on in the second period. They play another great period let's just get to this real quick. Let's just get to the chase here. We have not seen a lot of Austin Matthews lately. He's kind of been a little sluggish here, guys. I got to say, because with Matthews, he hadn't scored in the last couple games. He hadn't had points in the last couple games. And it's really been the depth guys getting it done against Edmonton. And then Calgary, obviously, you only scored 2 goals and you didn't get a whole lot of offense. Then you had 1 against Vancouver, 2 against St. Louis. But what a play by Morgan Rielly. It was a heads-up play, a beautiful cross-seam pass. Now, it was kind of, it was on the inner half of Austin Matthews. It wasn't out in front as you like to as a shooter on the rush. But Austin Matthews, being the incredibly talented player that he is, he gets it inside, and then he pulls it right to his forehand really quickly. And the release from Austin Matthews is ridiculous as he beats Linus Ullmark short side top corner. And the Leafs are now in front 2-0. 4:47 into the second period. Marner and Rielly have assists on Matthews' 20th goal of the year, the 8th player so far in the NHL to have 20 goals. And what a job by Matthews. What a shot by Austin Matthews. Now, we go to the dying 3 minutes of this period. And this is where things start to get freaky. All right? And it doesn't show up in the score sheet, but if you watch the game and you analyzed it hard, like myself, you will realize Zach Hyman does not have a stick on this play in his own zone. But what does he do? The puck comes to him. He shields away the opposing player, one of the Buffalo Sabres players, and he kind of kicks it up to Tyson Barrie. And Tyson Barrie gets to William Nylander, and what an amazing job by William Nylander staying on side. He kind of, it was a really interesting play at the blue line from Nylander because it looked like it was going to be offside. It looked like the forward was going to be ahead of him, but he kind of pushed the puck a little bit farther out in front of him to get it onside, then pulls it back once he's onside and gets to the far side and just drops off for Matthews, who's just coming off the bench. And I don't know who it was that he dangled the snot out of, but oh my goodness. He was leaning forward. Matthews' toe drags around him. A quick backhand, forehand, back to the backhand. And oh my goodness, Ullmark looks stupid. You got Dahlin in the net trying to play goalie, but instead Austin Matthews buries it upstairs on the backhand. What a goal from Austin Matthews. 21st goal of the season, second goal of the night for Austin Matthews. And the Leafs have a 3-0 lead late in the second period. Shots on goal 12-10 in favor of the Buds after 2 periods of play. 3-0 Leaf lead. Now, but the problem is you take a penalty late in the second period, and that's not what you like to see. You go into the third period, it's abbreviated power play. Those don't usually occur to anything. However, Rasmus Dahlin takes a point shot, and, Morgan Rielly's screening Frederik Andersen, and it beats him low glove side, and it's a 3-1 game. That's okay, still early. However, the early third period goal in the power play, the momentum feels like it just shifted a little bit. However, you're still up by 2 goals. You got to stay composed, got to keep calm. Speaking of keeping calm, Frederik Andersen with a brilliant save in tight, and Frederik Gauthier ends up getting the loose puck, gets up the ice to Tyson Barrie, and can we talk about that thread of the needle pass from Tyson Barrie to the streaking Dmytro Timashov, and what a nifty little backhand 5-hole, looked like a little JVR move if you guys remember his type of goal that he ever always did in shootouts and breakaways. Goes to the backhand, slides it 5-hole on Linus on Mark Timashov's third goal of the year. Barrie and Gauthier have assists on the play, and the fourth line's got 2 goals in this one. The Leafs get their 3-goal lead back. It is 4-1. Great job there. Now, I got to talk about the officials real quick, all right? This is my little spiel on them. What are we trying to eliminate in this sport of hockey? Hitting from behind. Travis Dermott gets absolutely wallpapered from Kyle Okposo. All numbers, right face first, into the boards. That is a textbook boarding call. It could be 2, they could call it more, but it's at least 2 for boarding. It goes unnoticed, and then not too long after that, streak pass to Jack Eichel, and as much as I thought Austin Matthews' goal was beautiful, both of them, Jack Eichel's shot far side on Frederik Andersen was literally perfect. It went off the inside of the post in the most inside part of the net as possible and pops right back out. What a shot by Jack Eichel, but abysmal non-call. And just like that, things aren't looking good here. But you're still up by 2 goals. However, there's still over 13 minutes to play in this hockey game. There's still lots of hockey left. Now, with just over 6 minutes to play, Leafs get caught, can't get the puck out of the zone. Their turnovers in their own end. That was killer for them back earlier in the year. It cost them here because it was kind of like a mini 3-on-1. It was kind of like inside the hash marks was a 3-on-1. Frederik Andersen makes the initial save, thinks he has it. It's way out of the net, but thinks he has it. Meanwhile, it's at the side of the net, and Kyle Okposo, the guy who crushed Travis Dermott, pots one in the back of the net, and just like that, it's a 1-goal game with over 5 minutes to play. We talked about it, guys. Third period goals. The Leafs, I didn't know the stat until today, the Leafs give up the most amount of goals in the NHL in the third period. That's not a number you want to see. They're still really good when they have the lead going into the third. I think they've only lost 1 game in regulation when they've had a lead going into the third, which is great. But you can't allow teams like the Buffalo Sabres, like the Boston Bruins, like the Capitals, like all these good teams to get this early. Look what happened against Calgary. You had the 2-1 lead in the third period. Just like that, it was gone. It's these third periods that got to come out of the gate flying. Now, ideally, you had a penalty kill to deal with here, and that kind of sucks. And now it's a 1-goal hockey game. The momentum has totally shifted the other way, and Leaf fans instantly are scared out of the mind, as they should be, because historically, this team with late third period leads, given up 2 of them, 4-1 leads, may I add, that go to 4-3 with still over 5 to play, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Then, the officials decide, Eichel's going to try and cut to the net, or I guess more or less cut about the top of the circle. And Hyman kind of stops him. Was it a little bit of a hold? Yeah, but meanwhile, Travis Dermott gets hit on the numbers, and there's nothing there. Look, if they're going to let that hold go, then they better if they're going to let that Dermott hit go, they got to let that Jack Eichel hold go. But no, they don't. They give the Buffalo Sabres the power play now with over 3 minutes to play, and then they pull a goalie. They have a 2-man advantage. I don't know if I like that play of them pulling their goal. If I'm a Sabres fan, I don't know if I like that. That's my personal opinion because, hey, then the penalty's killed off, then you pull the goalie. You saw that extra attacker then. You don't have that threat of an empty netter because, I don't know who it was, but they intercept the pass, or Mikheyev intercepts the pass, puts it around the defender, skates down, and pops it in the empty net for his 6th goal of the year, and the Leafs take the 5-3 lead, and it seals the deal. Leaf fans, we can breathe. We can all take a breath because the Leafs have won 2 straight games. Like I said, they've won 4 of 5. They're 17-14-4 now. They're 1 point back in the Buffalo Sabres, and they are winners there tonight. But the glaring issue that is now becoming a thing, look, it seems like the first periods and the first goal of hockey games don't seem to be the glaring issue now. The glaring issue at this point in time seems to be giving up goals in the 3rd period. Yeah, you're starting on time, but it seems like you're running out of gas in the 3rd period. You can't let that happen. You just can't. Come playoff time, you're not going to hang on to a 5-3 win. They're going to tie it. They're going to win it. I don't know, depending on who you face. You got to find a way to shut it down, play for your goaltender, and come away with a win. Now, shots on goal in the 3rd period were 16-9 in favor of Buffalo. See what I mean, guys? Now, they were down 3, and they're the desperate team. We're up 3 goals. You shouldn't have to need goals, but you still have to put pressure on the opposition. You got to put pressure on their defense to stay in their own end. You want to play in the offensive zone time. You want to play in the offensive zone as much as possible in that 3rd period, so you limit the time in your own end. And the Leafs were having trouble with that here in the 3rd period. But they built that lead up, and they were able to hang on to it. All right? Now, Frederik Andersen, I thought he was great. I thought he was fantastic. And you might say, well, 3 goals on 30 shots? 3 goals on 30 shots? Not a very good game. Look, statistically, it's probably not a pretty game, but let's look at the 3 goals. 1 was screened by it was a power play goal, and it was screened by Morgan Riley. You can't really see through somebody. And the Jack Eichel goal, who are you going to blame on that? Who's making that save? No one. That's just a perfect shot. And the Okposo one, look, he thought he had it to the side of the net. What's he going to do with that? Frederik Andersen played a great game. He made a lot of nice saves when the team needed him to, and he did not crack. And I think that's the big thing, right? Yeah, he gave some goals in the 3rd period. Would you have loved him to maybe make one of those saves? Yeah, but he didn't allow the tying goal, and he didn't allow them to fully come back. And in the end, that's what matters, all right? The Buds are playing good. They've won 4 of 5. They're feeling fantastic. Now, the next contest for the Leafs is on Friday nights. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop there in New York as the Leafs take on the Rangers at MSG. Anderson and Lundqvist are the expected starters in that game. The Rangers are a team that's actually surprised a lot of people this year. You know, obviously Henrik Lundqvist's play has not been very pretty. Save percentage of .912, but the goals against up there at 3.13. But again, 16-13-4, another team above 500, right? A team you got to find a way to take advantage of. Now, they're not playing well lately. They've lost a couple games in a row. They're kind of hovering around. The Leafs are playing extremely well lately. You want to keep going. You want to keep going until Christmas. Put the foot on the gas until the month of December is over. And once you start the new year, you got to start fresh and you got to get going again, right? So, you know, December 20th is the next game for the Buds. It's on Friday, all right? Freddie probably is in net for that game. You're at MSG. It's not going to be an easy matchup. Then the interesting one comes. You're at home on a back-to-back on Saturday night. You have Detroit coming in town. Now, if I've learned anything from Sheldon Keefe, he seems to like putting Frederik Andersen on the on the harder night of the back-to-back because you want your best goalie out there on the hardest night. Now, to me, that's the Friday night in New York, taking on the 16-13 New York Rangers in New York. And then on Saturday, you have the 9-23-3 Detroit Red Wings, and you're at home. Now, whether it be Michael Hutchinson getting the start or whether it be someone else, I don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know if they're going to give Hutch another start, but he's been awful all year long. However, you're putting him in a situation to win because of the team you're facing. So it's going to be a really interesting back-to-back there on Friday and Saturday. Look, the Buds have every opportunity to take both games Because even if Hutchinson isn't great on Saturday, Detroit is awful. The Leafs won, what is it, 6-0 or 6-1 or something against Detroit in Detroit the last time they were there? Now you're at home. Yeah, you're on the second night of a back-to-back, but you're playing Detroit. You should find a way to win that game. Now, no game in the NHL is easy. Montreal at home against Detroit, they lost 2-1. Did anybody see that coming? No. It's hockey. It happens. So, you got to take it game by game. The next contest for the Leafs is on Friday. Like I said, 7 o'clock puck drop at MSG. Madison Square Garden as the Leafs take on the Rangers. Anderson and Lundqvist are the expected goaltenders in that game. Couple interesting notes from this hockey game. Matthews, with the 2 goals that he scored today, passes Dougie Gilmour on the Leafs all-time goals list. I think he's like 38th or something like that on the all-time goals list. So a very interesting number there, passing Dougie on the all-time goals list and going fast because Matthews is scoring goals at will. He's already at 21 goals in the year. We're not even halfway through the season, guys. Maybe puts a look, it looks like 40 goals isn't such a high feed at this point for Austin Matthews. 50 might be, but it's going to be a really interesting, fun end of the season for Austin Matthews. But what a great game from him today. What a great game from the fourth line. They were incredible. Gauthier had 2 points. We're going to run through the stats here real quick before we wrap this baby up. We talk about Frederik Andersen. Matthews had 2 goals and a +1. Gauthier with a goal and an assist and was a +2. Timashov with a goal, +2. Mikheyev with a goal. Good job. Tyson Barrie, 2 assists and a +4. Great night for him. Morgan Rielly had an assist and a +4. Marner, Nylander both had assists and were +1s. And Jason Spezza was a +2 in the hockey game. I've been extremely impressed with Spezza over the last little while. He's looked extremely good, and his speed has really come back to him. And I've really liked the veteran guy who just shows a lot of calm play out there. And that's what you love to see from one of your veteran guys in Jason Spezza. All right? So, you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this hockey game there this evening, smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on Frederik Andersen's play, your thoughts on the Leafs play from minute 1 to minute 60. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Austin Matthews' play. I want to hear your thoughts on the kind of the fourth line. They looked incredible. What were your thoughts on that? And obviously with Tyson Barrie having that injury scare in the last game, was able to play today, had 2 assists, and looked great out there. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that whole thing. All right. Comment down below everything you guys want to talk about when it comes to this team. Twitter is down below for myself, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And if you have not signed up for the Patreon account, the link is in the description below. If you guys are interested in signing up for that, go do so. I would greatly appreciate it. But if you guys are not interested, that's okay too. All right? And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition. I think their next contest is tomorrow as they are in Detroit taking on the Pistons. 7 p.m. tip-off. You can't take that team lightly. They're a team that can fly to all cylinders. They have Blake Griffin. They have Andre Drummond, 2 guys that have dominated Raptors in the past. But Blake Griffin and Andre and Coach Casey have nothing on the Toronto Raptors. And we're going to see that again tomorrow night. 7 o'clock tip-off there at Air Canada West in Detroit, Michigan. All right? And as for our Leafs, like we talked about, their next contest is on Friday in New York as the Leafs take on the Rangers. 7 o'clock puck drop there. Frederik Andersen, Henrik Lundqvist on the front night of the back-to-back. It's going to be a lot of fun watching that game at MSG. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.